Okay, so I'm sorry that this is like more random gardening of Sydney or Leichhardt, local gardening. This is like local maintenance of the street grass. This is, in my view, all part of the matrix, in the sense that it's all what I call random noise, negative frequency vibration. Now, trying to collect my thoughts. Now, this is the earliest that I've ever encountered it, because it is very, very early in the morning. The sun's only just come up. Normally, they wouldn't even be doing so-called street gardening or street maintenance or whatever it is at this early time. So I'm not quite sure about why it's so early now, but apart from the fact that I'm up at this time, and perhaps I shall come to the door here and see if I can show at the usual door. I'll just hold on. It's not sure if it's coming out, and I'm a mess. I'm sorry. It's very early in the morning. I'm barely able to get my own bearings, and as usual, before the day starts, you get stressed. See, I'm on different time slots, as I've often said. Sometimes I'm up doing the night shift, and sometimes the day shift. I don't mean that to sound as though I hold a particular job, but that's just my different hours. I've always had that. Not relevant, but today I thought, well, it just happened that I'm on the early morning shift and have to face the day. But before I start to face the day, you hit with the negative frequency and vibration and sound, as I pointed out. Now I'm going to try to turn the... oh, wait on, I'm not doing well here. Sorry about this. I think the phone will probably go off, unfortunately. I can't hold it without it. It's not under my full control. See, mobile should be able to be used very rough and ready, almost, you could say, with your hand and all this, but whereas mine is not like it. Now, trying to turn it round and go to the door to show the street. As usual, I'm freezing, so if I don't go one way, I'll go another, I suppose, because I was trying to keep the door closed, but then all this grass, as you can see, doing the grass there straight out there. Can you see it? I shall put it down there. Can you see the grass, where they've done the grass? He's gone a bit further down now, but he will be back, because they always come back. And this is street grass, but they do it down Henry Street, Leichhardt, as though it's a bowling green. Like they will do it over and over again, and then come and do the sides and all this stuff, which going back 20 or 30 years, they didn't do your outside grass at all, but they certainly weren't fussy about it because it's a street grass. But here we have early morning matrix person walking their dog, because, you know, everyone in Leichhardt has a dog or a pram or some other accessory, shall we say. They look like accessories anyway. I don't know if they actually Unlike me with the dog, who, as you can see, has watered my indoor garden there, and that is the third time in the past hour. Not to mention, I actually offered him to go out before, but I thought, oh, it's too cold to open the door, and now I've opened it in order to make this little video. And like I say, he's gone down the street there now, but he will be back. In fact, if I wasn't holding this mobile, I'm sure that he would be back now over it again. But this is very early to hit you with a vibration. Normally they would wait another hour, but then again we do have work going on a few doors down too. I'm only filming this with the idea that, as I pointed out before, that a lot of the Matrix does not want to be in a movie or on any sort of film, shall we say. And I'm certainly no filmmaker. And only got the idea of doing this from someone else a few months ago. There we have our Matrix early morning car. But at this time of the morning, you would expect one or two people to be pulling out, so that's not so abnormal. It's when it goes all day, like I say, you have to... Actually, this vibration and noise makes me incredibly nervous, as you can probably gather. Not just because there's another Matrix vehicle coming down for no reason to do no apparent real work, because there's nothing to do down there, and yet they're all construction type little vehicles. Not particularly impressive. I have seen much more impressive than that. I'm going to come in for a second because I'm absolutely freezing, to be honest. In fact, maybe that was just random. Oh dear, goodness gracious. Sorry about that. That was random Matrix. Oh dear. Oh, if they don't get you one way, they'll get you another. Perhaps I'm just getting myself. I don't know. I'm trying to be reasonable here because, I make fairyland videos and I try to make them fairy tales that are subtle. I don't go in for the more graphic movie type scenarios that we have in recent times. Like I say, I like the old movies that are more subtle and might express an idea but don't show in graphic detail everything. Whether this is good or bad or not, when you're making the videos about possible scenarios or impossible scenarios, what would seem impossible. But, there is some truth in everything. Some people say the truth is somewhere in between. Well, depends on what you mean by in between, or how extreme you think things are or should be, or what you think is reasonable or acceptable. I can only say that that everything can be reasonable in certain quantities, and it's the continual that makes something a negative or not. That's what I say about frequency and vibration, and that goes for noise and sound, and also the type of noise and sound. See, that might vary from person to person, I don't know. All I know is that the frequency and vibrations that I hear on Henry Street, Leichhardt, are of a very negative, agitating style, shall we say. It's not just the pitch of them sometimes, but it's also the grating, almost aggressive manner in which they I can't describe sound or frequency very well, as you can imagine. You only know yourself. If you hear some noise, it's like, and also if you get conditioned and used to hearing it, because it is a continual thing that goes on, whether it be a street lawnmower or a street you know, even street cleaning vehicles. I could mention, all different types of vehicles, but I don't know the specific names of them, see, because I'm ignorant on that. So, and I don't know the particular gardening devices that they use for even street. But all I know is that I live on Henry Street, Leichhardt. And this maintenance that goes on in Henry Street, Leichhardt, doesn't go on in most other streets. Now, is this some sort of special street? Okay, so it's off the main street. But, I don't think that they do it unless they've changed the thing to where Leichhardt is the most well-kept suburb in Sydney or Australia or whatever. I'm not sure about this. I really don't know. I only know that they never used to do the lawns and come around doing maintenance in a general way anywhere near as much. And also I've noticed it. Just recently I noticed it quite obviously. Like I have noticed that they've changed all the staff that work at the park just down here, which is only on the corner. And it's a really big park. Like I say, it used to be a cemetery that housed or had the graves of 10,000 deceased, shall we say. But not relevant, but interesting. I've mentioned this before. But so it's a reasonable sized park that was converted into a park at some point, the graves were around 100 years ago, but I think the park's been there for at least 60 to 80 years, something like that. I'm not sure. It's written on the thing, but I'd have to check. But either way, not relevant. I was just going to do a sound thing, and now I'm making my usual big speeches. I do feel like a big mouth sometimes, and it's just that I am a bit of a chatterbox, but I don't have anyone to chat to most of the time. But also, if you get very agitated and desperate, you do tend to become a big mouth about things. Like normally I'm not particularly, I might like to talk a bit, but I don't tend to be very forceful about it. Whereas when you're angry about things or get agitated by unnatural negative frequency noise, it makes you agitated, so therefore naturally I'm speaking a little bit more forceful than what I would like, because but either way, like I say, they changed the staff at the park down there, I noticed, and since then they've been doing the maintenance much, much more, and this is also something that has happened only over the last 3 years, in coincidence with me noticing that the matrix has opened up and closed down and exposed itself. Of course, they're all connected because that is part of the opening up and the coming down. Because, that is, that's bringing more negative frequency, and because if you use mechanical gardening devices that make an unpleasant negative vibration frequency noise for a human being, then and that is done more frequently because you've decided that instead of doing maintenance once a month, you do it once a week, and then also you might decide to do extra maintenance, so therefore that goes on a more of a regular basis, so you're not getting a break from negative frequency and vibration. The only reason I say that is because this, to an average person, this is like coincidence. They're like, oh well, okay, so you've had a bit of bad luck, you've had the City Westlink down the street for month after month after month. Yes, they've pulled down a few houses and built new ones there, yes, they're always doing renovations, and yes, because people are becoming a little bit more house proud, or even a little bit more concerned about keeping things nice, because if one person keeps it nice, then one follows the other, and it's keeping up with the Joneses or whatever, that sort of situation. There's a whole lot of rationalised explanations you can use for these things. But see, even low frequency noise annoys me now, because if it's continual, you notice it even more. You become sensitised to sound, as I say. So, but like I say, a good example of this would be yesterday. You know, this is just like taking it from a day-to-day example of coincidence or chance in what I call the matrix, but another person say that's just, some people might even say, gee, you're lucky they do so much work. Well, yes, well, you know, I don't particularly think that you have to have bowling green lawns everywhere on the street anyway. I think, you know, as long as you can walk comfortably, and you walk on the pavement anyway, so I don't overly go for that. But even if I did, you know, this is winter time, so my father always used to say grass doesn't grow much in the winter, so actually to be coming around doing it every week is, you know, there's nothing to really do. So it is just doing a job for the sake of doing it and making a lot of unnecessary frequency and vibration or negative noise, as I say. And that's disruptive to the human mind, the human state of well-being, I would say. You know, do you want to live in a noisy suburb like Leichhardt? You know, the price is too high for me anyway. This is all I can say. I keep saying the price is too high, but I'm just going to push that door a bit more open so I can see. And you know, there we have our matrix people opposite, but, you know, they all, you know, come and go. And when I say they come and go, see, there we have the workman over there in the bright kind of green outfit. The colours are important in the matrix. And that gentleman there will go to work and flick his lights on. But that is perfectly normal, most people would say, and I'm not going to disagree with that. But I think we're in a matrix. So that means that that fella that gets into the car there is connected to the fella down there in the green. Now you'd say that, well, most people would say that is not likely or possible. I say it is, and I saw him, because I'm more finely tuned and because I'm actually looking for it. Of course, you have to look for it and you have to verify it. You know, I can see him look at the fella and give an indication. They already know what they're doing anyway. But either way, it's just unnecessary noise, as you can see. And I'm just saying this is so that noise is on the other side of the road, but, you know, it's very grinding on your state of well-being. In fact, even in making the video, I'm going to have to come inside. I actually can't stand it. But the colours, you know, there is significance in the colours that people wear. That is like if you are part of the matrix, you will wear, I've noticed this anyway, and whether some people would say that's just workman's clothes. Well, yes, but they all wear the same colour. And if you are aware of the matrix, or you believe in a matrix, then you know that there is significance to everything. So the colour that people wear, if they're all wearing the same colour, that means they're all part of the same group, or part of the matrix, if you like. But either way, this is wasted time for me. It'd be actually worthwhile if you could make videos and say there's too much noise in Leichhardt on a daily basis. You know. You know, if this was like once every, say, month or 2 months or something, you'd say, well, it's okay. But, you know, when it's one noise after another in an area, you know, almost on a daily basis, in fact, really on a daily basis, one way or another, there is negative frequency and vibration or sound. Certainly where I live anyway. There we have 2 of them there. I don't know whether you can see the other one, but either way, that's not relevant. And they will be doing this for a long time too, because see how he hasn't done the whole lot in one go? That gives him an excuse. See what I'm saying? Is that see how this grass is only done here instead of the rest? That means that this even the cat has went away and left its food here. Now that is a cat who loves chicken and loves food, and it's left it there because it can't stand the noise. Because animals notice, even a cat like that loves food cannot stand the noise of that and has run away frightened. I saw him. That's the first time I've ever seen him leave food, ever. You know, the big boy cat that I've put on other videos. Now I'm going to come in here and fold up because it's too much. Oh! And I'm freezing going right out there because it is winter time and I have not got dressed. They've gone down the street now for a second. But they will be back, as I'm pointing out. That is a stupid way to do the grass because, see, it's, well, not stupid really, no, because it means that I have to listen to that noise for a longer period of time because they're only doing it strip by strip. So that means they have to keep coming back so they can extend what they could have done outside of my place in, say, I don't know how long it takes to do that, but say 10 minutes or something. Then they can extend that to an hour and a half. Maybe more, I don't know how long they'll be doing it. But they'll just keep going up and down. And no doubt as soon as I turn this video off, they'll be back up again because it's a matrix. And this is just something that is what I consider to be the reality. Matrix has to keep its negative frequency going all the time because I hope I'm not doing unnecessary symbolism once again with the phone. By that I mean I don't want funny angles to where I'm, only got one eye exposed or something. But this happens to me all the time. It's unavoidable in a matrix. It's unavoidable with the phone because I'm nervous and stressed, because of the negative frequency. So it's gone now. So I feel a bit better for a few seconds. But they will come back with that. And I'm just pointing out that it's a very noisy suburb. and noise is a negative frequency and vibration, and humans are frequency and vibration. So this is a negative reality that we now live in that doesn't bother anyone else. In fact, like I say, they lap it up. If I actually made a point that they're doing unnecessary grass maintenance, and there again, it's a matrix, so even I probably don't grasp the whole situation. In other words, like I could, like the grass, like if I pointed out to someone else, they might say, well, the grass is, there's a matrix plane, but I don't know where it's even coming from. They must be hiding a little bit too, because normally they come over here on their flight path. But of course, it's getting a bit confused now. They're doing a lot of different things. And that's nothing to do with, that may or may not have anything to do with me, getting the mobile phone out, It may not have anything to do with it because, like I say, they have changed the scenarios anyway. But like I say, it doesn't matter to me. What noise is noise. So it doesn't matter to me, or if you're a human that's frequency and vibration, which is what you really are. If you're not human, you're not going to worry about that because you're not as affected by frequency and vibration. So I don't know what's wrong with everyone. Of course, a lot of people do walk around with earplugs, headphones and ear things in where they're listening to music and stuff, so they might not notice a lot of this. Well, look, I personally don't see why. I mean, okay, if you enjoy doing that, that is fair enough. But I only listen to the demigods' music, as you know, a lot less now, because I hear so much more in their music. So I don't want to have to put, not that I would anyway, but even if I still listen to all the demigods' music, I still don't want to be listening to it when I go out, because I like to take in what I'm doing when I go out. That's just me. So everyone's choice is fair enough. I'm rambling here ridiculously. I know, I'm so sorry. But, so I do see people that, are like that and want to live that way. But I'm saying you shouldn't have to avoid negative frequency. But either way, I'm going to fold up, but I'm reluctant to fold up because I do think that if you, this is just a hint here, because I was given this hint quite a while ago. And I'm still not able to do it because this is still the same mobile. I need to be rough and ready and be able to just carry a mobile all the time and just put it on video, how noisy our cities have now become, shall we say, for whatever reason. But, I'm still not capable of doing that. The best I've done is go to my front door and show noise that comes in the house. But, not taking it right to the street, shall we say, because it's basically everywhere. So even that, like when he just went zoom zoom, or rum rum, or rrr, you know what I mean? It's like an aggressive thing. Or everything has become more aggressive. When you become more sensitized, you notice it even more. So you notice even if a car makes aggressive noises too. In other words, if they're being driven aggressively, and I don't mean even just fast, although that can also be a factor, but to where they rev up the engine, that sort of thing, and, the buses tend to always be squeaking their brakes and things like this. They didn't do this 3 years ago, but like I was just saying, I just fold up, and this is just advice or an idea. And it was an idea that was given to me and even suggested by, was suggested by one that even listens to the videos a while back too. But it was suggested by another video that I saw 2 years ago now. that, as I mentioned, I don't know whether I mentioned it on another video because I don't put everything out. I haven't been putting everything out lately. I usually only put them out to get more space on the thing because it's all on the mobile, and there's limited amount you can record before you can't record it. You know that. I don't understand these things. But either way, it was recommended. This person was fed up with their particular situation, their particular area where they were saying there were too many people around them. And it was mainly a people situation, I would think. It wasn't like an in-house situation, but they did say that when they started taking the mobile out and recording it, shall we say, recording, people that they felt were being intrusive or anything around them that was intrusive, that it eased up considerably. So they recommended doing that. And I did not take any notice of that, but and it is hit and miss, because I will say that in my case, they're not going to back off with their matrix and their negative frequency very easily at all. They might back off for a day, perhaps, if for whatever reasons. I'm not sure why they even would, because, but because I've come out a few times with the mobile phone to film the plane of a night, and I have said on the thing the streets was dead, but then as soon as I turned the mobile off, it comes to life again. In other words, the cars start coming down again and there's more people around. But usually when have done that on the last 2 times, the street was completely dead. I don't know if I put that video out. And that is not something that I've experienced in the last 3 years. Of course, it's daytime now, so it would be normal to see more people and whatever. But I would still honestly say that, in my opinion, and of course I don't know exact numbers, just from my own observation, from 3 years ago, I would say that the number of people actually on the street has doubled at least, or tripled. And that is, and that's not something you can only prove that to yourself, because it wouldn't look as though the streets were particularly crowded to an outsider. But if you've lived here for years and years, and then you notice that number has escalated in that 3-year period of time that I've talked about, getting a headache here. You never feel 100% in this matrix anyway. You always have a slight, your head doesn't feel quite right. So then if you sit with negative noise and frequencies, which doesn't bother anyone else because they're not being quite as suppressed, shall we say. But see, this is daytime, so people will not be quite so shy to be seen on a video if I did go around the street, shall we say. But, geez, it's cold here, goodness gracious. I'm freezing. It's not really worth filming it, I think. Like I say, Matrix, if it doesn't get you one way, will get you another. But, Sorry, I'm just looking over at the house over there because they've got some bird cages up. I noticed, you know how I mentioned bird cages in my a video. In a, in a video, a while back, I noticed they've been popping up around a bit more often too. I was told that it's fashionable to decorate bird cages in recent times. But, you know, all these things are like, make of it what you will. I know what I make of things, but other people, you know, are not going to make the same things. But either way, I'm folding up because I've just about had it. And if this is the start of the day, and I can only hope that the day improves. Not too enthusiastic, but just you know, this is just to show what a negative city Sydney is, in the sense that it is a very negative frequency vibration place now, and this is Leichhardt, a suburb. I don't know whether it's all over Sydney or whether it's more concentrated in particular suburbs or even particular streets for that matter. That would depend on many things. We've already discussed those, so I'm going to fold up because although that noise will continue, no doubt, for quite a while longer, because, yeah, they'll probably come up and down that street for quite a while. And most of the people on the street are aware of it, but they like it. They would be upset if they actually like all this so-called maintenance. But I have to go now because actually my ear is starting to be affected a bit by the noise, so I'll have to try to do something else. Okay, I don't know if it's even coming out on the thing because I'm not much good with the mobile, and I hope I've got the sound up correctly. It has a limited sound limit. And, you know, no doubt they will, you know, all these cars, some of them belong in the houses. Probably about 80% of the cars that pull up and are parked on Henry Street, Leichhardt, do not reside in any of the houses, from what I can gather, because it just wouldn't be physically possible, you know, because there's only a certain number of houses in a relatively small dead-end street, and we've got the church over there that takes up a reasonable amount of the ground, if you can see it. I've tried to get it from that bedroom window, which is a better view than here, but I could go out. But it's normal for people to have mobiles and go out now, but I'm sure everyone knows that I don't do it, so therefore I stand out like a sore thumb, as they say. But anyway, my hand is getting sore, and I think that a sample noise is better than subjecting you to the whole thing. But actually, if you're actually here with it, it's a lot worse, to be honest. Yeah, but like I say, that they just go up and down the street, and you know, a matrix means that everyone is part of some sort of collaboration, in the sense that they are all connected, the same way that human beings are meant to be all connected. So they're all aware of what I'm doing and what someone else is doing, and although it appears random and natural, it's actually not. And that's essentially what a matrix is, in my way of putting it. But either way, I'm folding up here now, so